Hey y'all, let's talk about what your document's supposed to look like. This is somewhat of a mess, as you can see. It's completely in Latin, so don't freak out. It is just filler text that we're going to use for this process. So what we need to do is by the time we get to the end of this document, the end of this video, this document is going to look like your document should look, with the exception of being written in Latin, okay? So the little squiggly lines won't go away, but the style will be applied to the document. So this is what should go over here in the left-hand corner. Your name, my name, the class number, and then the date that the essay is due. So we've got everything over here in the left-hand side that we need, but now we need to put whatever it is that goes in the far right-hand corner. That's the header that gets the student's last name and the page number. So we're going to do insert page number. We want the page number to be at the top of the page, and we want it to be on the right. Okay, so there's the page number. It is on the right. Now, you also need to put your last name. Double click on this, it's going to open the header. Now, if you hover over this, you'll see that there is indeed a page number. It will change with each page. So if you double click on that number and then, get out of the text that it pops up so that you can type again, and put your last name in here with a space. Make sure that the font here is the same as the font in the rest of your document. And poof, you've got your header. And as you can see, it changes from page to page. You need to make sure that your margins are 1 inch at the top and the sides. And then you want to make sure that everything is double spaced. So you might want to, if you're like me and you write you do your writing before you start messing with the formatting, which I suggest that you do, just because if you try to go and fix things as you are writing, it can mess up your flow. It can you can delete some things that you put into the document, which then later on is going to impact your formatting. So I would say do your writing, get it the way you want it, and then go in and fix it so that it looks correct. So you want your spacing to be double spaced, but if you do that, you can see that then made this much larger than it needs to be. There are more spaces here than necessary, but unfortunately, someone at Word decided that that's just a really good idea to add those extra lines in there, those extra hard returns that aren't really hard returns. So you have to do something to counteract that. So Control A, or whatever it is that gets everything that's in the document. And there are a number of ways to do this. But I find paragraph is the easiest way to get to what it is that you're trying to get to. You want to click this button right here. Don't add space between paragraphs of the same style. You want your double spacing, yes, but you want to get rid of all that excess room that seems to just magically appear once you shift from single space to double space. And now all of a sudden you see the spacing between this is now double spacing and not double plus. Okay, so we still have some issues here. We need a title. So you want to give your essay a title that is going to reinforce the point that you're trying to make. You want your title to be concise, to the point. You don't want it to be essay 1, argumentative essay, compare contrast essay, rough draft of compare contrast essay. Don't do any of that. You want your title to be part of your argument, part of your essay, and not just, this is my essay. So your title needs to actually do something. So we've got a title here. Please note, there's no italics, there's no underline, there's no different font. It's just centered. Okay, please also note, this is the only thing in your paper, unless you start getting into those very in-depth headings, which you don't need to do for anything that we're working on, because those are reserved for the really long papers. You're not doing any long papers. All of your papers are short. So you'll want to do your title centered. Nothing else gets centered. Your paragraphs, you want to tab in. All of your paragraphs need to have a tab at the start. So as you scroll through, ensure that each paragraph you have actually has a tab at the start of it. And please also make sure that none of your paragraphs are as lengthy as this last one. You want your paragraphs to have one idea and one idea only. I don't care if your paragraph has 5 sentences, 10 sentences, 20 sentences, just so long as that paragraph is actually talking about one single idea. So if you let your paragraph run on this long, that should be kind of a red flag for you that there's some problems. Okay, you're probably trying to do too much in this paragraph. So go in there and look to see how it can be revised. But that's revision. We're talking very basic MLA style setup. So for each paragraph, it gets a tab in. So we've got our header up here. We've got our heading over here. We've got our title. And it should look just like this. You should not have your paragraphs centered. You should not have them looking funky in any way, shape, or form. They should look just like this. The whole point of using a style like MLA or APA or whatever is so that everybody's paper looks exactly the same. I know that that's boring. Trust me, I've been reading these things since roughly 2004. Yeah, it gets real boring. However, we used to only publish papers and have, academic journals physically published in journals. The academic essays were published in these journals, and there was a purpose to the style looking the way that it does that had to do with publication. And that's just, and I could get into more about that, but why? This is how it's supposed to look. And if you set it up in this way, you will be successful in all manners of ways in your life, I am sure. So if you have trouble, if you're not sure how to do this, if you're stuck on something, there are some great websites you can navigate to that will help you out with this. You can go to the MLA Style Guide website. You can go to our CPCC library has a website dedicated to how to do this kind of thing. There's also Purdue OWL has got this information as well. So there are plenty of places you can go to get, step by step, even more so than what I've shown you here, that can help you with all of these different parts of the puzzle. But the bottom line is this right here is how it needs to look when you submit it. If you have issues, like I said, go to any of those websites, and they are on our Brightspace page.